Welcome to Little Bighorn Treasure Hunting Sources 86. We have a very interesting knife to show today. At a collector show, while sharing my display with the attendees one afternoon, three guys came back that had been there earlier. They had appeared as grandfather, son, and grandson, and had shown much interest in my display, and had also looked at some artifacts I put up for sale trying to raise some funds for much needed home repair. They were so excited to show me on their phone pictures of a knife for sale at the show with Togia on it. From my for sale items, they picked out the Togia symbols for hawk, eagle, and friend. I told them they were correct and should go buy it, and that I was proud they'd figured out the symbols. Now this is why my son and I do these videos, so you folks can figure out stuff when you see it and find your own little bighorn treasures. Well, sad to say, they all held up bags with items they had purchased and said they had spent enough money. Asking where they saw the knife, and when I needed a break, I asked my neighbor table holder to watch my display. The knife was way cool and appears to have had a longer blade, either a cut-down sword or something similar. The blade handles seem to be maybe buffalo on one side. That's the side you're seeing now. And on the other side, cow horn or bull horn from beef cattle on the other, pinned with brass studs. The end has two holes drilled in the very end of it that come out through the bottom. If we roll this over, you can see that they come out there also. And I think that's for a lanyard or some sort of tie down that went through there. The name Turning Hawk is plain on the left grip, and then that's on the other side right here. You can see the symbol for turning here. See how it turns? Here's a symbol for hawk. Here's a symbol for friend. And then there's also battle marks here. Now the battle marks appear to maybe be they're old, but a little bit newer than the name Turning Hawk on there. And with the Togia symbol for friend and the three battle marks on that side, you flip it over, and Big Eagle is also proudly displayed on the right grip. But I believe the X symbol is for brother on this side, not friend. Also, three battle marks, once again, not quite as old as the others, but old marks that are on it, is set between the symbol for big, which is here, and eagle. And that's in video 29, where you see crow, eagle, and hawk, if you want to see those symbols. And Turning Hawk has a story from the internet. It's called 100 Voices. And he was Hunk Papa, and here's what Turning Hawk said. Turning Hawk came from north and got along the river. Turning Hawk was almost killed in Custer Massacre, but came alive again. 3 of us went after Reno's horses, and 2 were killed, but the bullets flying all around did not hit Turning Hawk. There were 3 companies Turning Hawk was in, party behind army. Turning Hawk killed 2 Indian scouts, 1 Sioux, and 1 Crow. For more information on this, see 7th Cavalry Scouts killed. Cheyennes ran Reno from water. Reno tried to cross the stream. Turning Hawk was not with Sitting Bull. Where enemy scouts who were trying to run off horses. Then so many soldiers were killed. Reno tried to get away, but several soldiers dropped in the river. Turning Hawk had lots of bullets and was in a fight one time with Sitting Bull. Turning Hawk shot a cavalryman, and the horse fell on the cavalryman, and Turning Hawk thought the cavalryman was dead. Turning Hawk rushed into the middle of the battle with 2 others to count coup on the soldier, and these 2 others were shot down. Sitting Bull was not in this battle place, but was with others who confronted Custer, Arapahoes, and Cheyennes, and Turning Hawk was there. Turning Hawk said he almost died as 4 Indians rushed into battle. 3 were killed. Turning Hawk ran into a soldier in the center of the battle and was knocked off his horse, which was taken by crows, an enemy Indian. Then shot at Turning Hawk. Smoke and dust were terrible when, at battle, Turning Hawk threw himself down. This man shot again at Turning Hawk, and Turning Hawk hit him in the hip and breast, killing him. This enemy scout happened to be a Sioux named Brush, and he was a chief. By the way, I see no record of any Indian scout named Brush. Then there was room for Turning Hawk to run out of the battle. Note more confusion on the number and identities of 7th Cavalry scouts killed. The scout Brush is not listed on Varnum's muster roll. Lots of scouts were drunk. Lots of soldiers were drunk and shot each other. Some smelt of liquor after their deaths. Turning Hawk got another horse and returned to the fight, but by then only a few soldiers were left at the Little Bighorn. Turning Hawk was now with Bad Bear and Little Buffalo. One soldier grabbed Little Buffalo, but Little Buffalo took his bridle and struck the soldier and took his horse. At Custer's last stand, Little Buffalo got Custer's horse, a dark sorrel. Custer had short hair and we couldn't recognize him. After the battle, we heard Custer had a sorrel horse and thought it was the horse captured. Lots of Indians knew this sorrel to be Custer's. All soldiers had blue shirts. When all soldiers had been killed, there were 5 men with Sitting Bull, and all brought back captured horses. One of these, Old Bull, and the second was Gray Eagle, who Gray Eagle was there when Sitting Bull was assassinated. And they started and returned, but the names of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th men were not remembered by Turning Hawk. Sitting Bull ordered the Indians to stop besieging Reno Hill and said, "Let them live. They are trying to live. They came against us and we have killed a few." Reno, end of fight. Knife King was Sitting Bull's crier at that time. Knife King was announcing something, which was to stop fighting. When a soldier in a ditch raised up, shot Knife King in the body, but Knife King lived. This happened after Reno was driven back to the timber. Sitting Bull ordered not to mutilate Custer, and Sitting Bull looked at the dead to find him. Then he went to the next fight at the other end, which would have been Reno's. Custer's pack horses and pack mules, wagon train which followed, was attacked the next day. After the battle, Turning Hawk was enlisted as a government scout. So that's the story, and it is just such a cool knife. And you know, like I said, it's had a cut down blade, but it's been well used. Okay, well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. God bless.